Hello, and welcome to another installment of Rhythms from my book. Well, the rhythms exist in the world, but I thought it would be interesting to continue this thing. We're looking at Dream Fever again, but now I'm going to take it kind of towards the middle of the book. We're going to get into what I would consider another polyrhythmic concept because it's one thing to sit there and shed the actual like clave figure or like the DNA, but then we have to start to hear what other rhythms sound like. So when we're playing, let's say, behind a drum solo with a drum set with another musician, any kind of thing, and the phrasing changes, we need to be able to be flexible. So it's like we've taken our baby steps and now we're somewhere where we can move up. So the really cool thing that ended up happening when I got this tune from Patrick and we sat down with the band, as I realized, I was like, oh, I have a tune that's like this. And I called it Flux. It was for our band Answers. And it's the same kind of 4 against 3, 3 against 4 thing. But what I did in that tune, and I thought would be super beneficial to talk about today, is to add something. We're going to call it 5/16. And for non-musicians, all you have to think about is we're just talking about 5/16 notes now. So before we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we're going to do to make it a little bit easier thereafter is we're going to group it in 2 pulses, a short and a long. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So the first part of this kind of comes from the same concept, right? So we know we're in 16th notes. So I think the first thing that we need to do when it comes to stuff like this is definitely start with the quarter note pulse that we can put against it, because then we learn all of the permutations of that figure against a quarter note pulse, period. So this would be as if it were in 5/4, but we're playing that shorter figure. So I'm going to verbalize what that looks like on paper, because what I want to try to ask you to do, if you're going to do some of the work here on your own, is to write this stuff out. So what it's going to look like is 1 and E, and 4, E. And I'll do that kind of filling in the space, right? 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 5 E and 1, right? So now, because it's, I'm doing this in a short way, so you can watch this plenty of times. What we want to try to do then, right, is try to take this, now that we know, okay, so the first one is going to lead to an offbeat, right? So it starts in the on beat. So, and then I would say the third one, right? So we got 1 and 2, E, and 4. We have kind of like a downbeat thing happening, but it's on the second part of that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The one of that group of 3 is the next one. And then the last one is kind of your moment of biggest tension before it resolves. It'll be 5E and 5E and dot doom dot doom doom, right? So that's one way to do it. And this was something that was brought up to me by another master musician, my buddy Reggie Pryor. He's like, you should be able to feel that quarter note in 5/16, 5/8, however you think about it. So this part, I think this will be the end of the video, and then in the next one, we're going to put it together with Dream Fever. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to try to jot this down really quick. So it's basically like the 3, it's going to be on the 2 side of the 3, it's going to be on the 1 of the second one, and then it'll be on the 2. But when you're going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right? So that way You're focusing on the 5 being 5 with the 4's relationship to the 5. And I know it sounds like I'm just throwing numbers in the air, but when you start to try to do this, you're going to start to hear the difference. And this again comes from that active focus and active intention and concentration, because it's easy to slip into one or the other one. And I think the game here is to really be able to be present of where you're sitting on the beat as these things happen with relationship to both beats. Is that group of 5/16 notes even each time? Is the quarter note pulse even each time? And this rhythmic independence is going to lend itself, to me, to a greater feeling of musical creativity as well as expression, which is just the bottom line. Let's be artistic with it. Let's not focus on the mechanics. All right, that's all I got for you today. Have a good one.